If it's okay with the rest of the panel, I'd like to kind of go with bookends here. So Dean Towers, would you
Yep.
go next, if you would, please?
As
And
computer-
Standardbred owner, breeder, better, and director and founding partner of Page Zero Media. You want to tell us what that is?
Sure. We're a web marketing company from Toronto, started up in 2000. One of the first to specialize in Google AdWords, search engine optimization. I wanted to follow Mark. I asked Gary if I could, simply because Mark's my client. That's who I have, and you can tell because he thinks like it, and we need a lot of that thinking. Example, delivering our product. We do a terrible job. I don't know if anybody in here knows, but it's last year a Horseman's Group, along with the track in Arizona, made it a felony, Class 2 felony, to bet over the internet, the Meadowlands, or any track outside Arizona. That's on par with sexual assault. It's not the way the world works anymore. If Amazon.com would have done that, or if they would have done it to Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos would have been on television screaming about it. We can't let these things happen. This is betting as it should be, and it's exactly what Mark was mentioning. It's a company that started in 2000 with no clients. $2 million of angel financing. Their first Series 1, after they got 20,000 customers, was a measly 40 million, I think. Now they have 1.3 million customers. They're going to IPO for $3.5 billion. It's a one-stop shop, just like their ad says. You can bet exchange betting, which is the eBay of betting, and you can also bet right in the tote. So your price-sensitive customers that are huge, they've left us. They're gone. The people that want low takeout are all gone. They've gone to places like this. You can have both sets of customers with a model like this. This is a new way to deliver your customer to your model to a 21st century customer. All places in the world can bet this where they're licensed. They're going to have a deal with U.S. Racing within the year for thoroughbred racing. They pay 20% of gross profits. They also pay a product fee to racing, so they contribute to the pools. This is the future, and excuse me on that, sorry about that. That's the future, and that's the way it's going. Also, look, they offer a free bet. Claim your $50 free bet, make a deposit into your account, you bet it, you roll it over. Why? Because this is churn on steroids. You put $50 in this account, you bet right, you learn to play it, you can play for 6 months with that $50. You generate millions, with a lot of people doing it. You never have to dig into your pocket. You bring $50 to the track, I don't know, with me it's gone by the second race. And then you got to dig back in. You're tired of losing, so you switch. This is not only growing, this is growing beyond belief. They take more transactions on racing than the European stock exchanges combined every year. They are betting racing. They put our product in a ball, and they spit out something that people want. Web 2.0 is something you might have heard before. It's a brand new term. It's about 6 months old. I was at a web marketing conference in Toronto last month, and every business now is creating products that market themselves. It's Web 2.0 means creating a product that will sell to the market. No one here, I don't think, has ever seen a Facebook commercial because there isn't one. That's Web 2.0. You haven't seen an Amazon.com commercial. Back in 2003, Amazon.com was bleeding cash. Their business model, or their model to sell to customers, was not right. Jeff Bezos walked into the office at a director's meeting and said, "We are suspending all marketing spending." They didn't spend a cent on marketing, not a cent in marketing from 2003 on. What they did was sink it back into lower prices to deliver their product. They promised the customer that you'd get a product in 48 hours with no cost to you. And they offered more products along the tail to get more people. They targeted a niche and expanded with that money. This is exactly what this is, and this is exactly what we have to do with racing. And it goes right to Mark's point. It's tough to do, and I realize that. It's very hard to do, but the future's right in front of your eyes. It's right here. And people might say, well, that's thoroughbred racing. Well, it isn't. Betfair did a target to all their customers, and including customers in Australia. They ran a harness race. This is in the UK. This is not a harness racing hotbed. This is in the UK. They ran a single race at Kempton. Notice the date, it's July 21st. Betfair doesn't support harness racing, but they ran one race for a test. $170,000 was bet on the race by their customers. The Betfair man, Tony Calvin, don't know him, our expectations were minimal, but as it turned out, more than 1,000 people placed bets on the harness race. We were completely taken unawares. There is definitely potential if it is supported by one of the horse racing channels. It could provide a new interest for the racing fraternity and certainly gets our backing. That's a harness race. The people that don't even know how to bet a harness race, that's not in their culture, it's delivering your product to a customer at a fair price that wants to play it. Moira, when she invited me, thank you very much, she said, 2025, what is our customer going to look like? Here's an example. I just said, what I do in my job on the web is you can pretty much target everything and you can measure everything. So you kind of have an idea what works and what will not work if you build it for the web. And quite simply, here's the people that are at Betfair. And keep in mind, 1.1 million people have signed up to this. It's got started in a basement 8 years ago. These people are the cutting edge. They are our market. They are who's betting racing in the 21st century. The polls, what would your ideal location for betting be? 76.82% is at home. 8% is at the venue, at the pub, whatever. But at home, 76%. Another answer, people say takeout doesn't matter. I mean, come on. What would make you use a competitor? Better odds. It's right there in front of you. That's the future. Lower prices can do that. This is a young market. I looked a little bit at the searches through some of the things that I do for a living. A couple tools I can use on the web to help when I consult for companies. Betfair racing as a keyword phrase. The top demographic for that was 26 to 34. The second was 18 to 25, and the third was 35 to 50 or 49. Harness racing, number one was over 50. Number two was 35 to 49. The other two barely registered. So obviously it's a young market as well. They have some money, they're having fun, and they want to play. And just for a last quick, anecdote, just for a couple of reasons about delivering your product in a way that the offshore companies have and that Betfair has to their market. Just a couple things. One fellow was a bettor for a while. He bet $30,000 a year through TVG or wherever, 30 to 50,000, and then a friend of his took him, gave him a little piece of software to help him bet. Simple. He was a good player, actually, this guy, so he coached him along that. And then he gave him an offshore account that gave him back 7 points. In effect, it made takeout, instead of blended 21%, it took him down to 14%. With a churn factor of 7, which is the industry standard, by just doing a math formula, our revenue optimizing rate is about 13%. With a churn rate of 7 that the industry says we have. That's probably pretty accurate. He went from 30, what he had to say. I was using this offshore company until the laws were changed when they were banned in the US. I found a way to make a place betting system profitable. I wound up with a 3.2% loss, but a rebate of 7. Actually, it was a rebate of 6.2, as they did not give a rebate on 220 horses. The kicker is I went from betting 30 to 50,000 to 1.3 million that year. It made the churn factor possible. If takeout is lowered, it may have the same effect. Conversely, a friend of mine, a 22-year-old guy, used to play racing when he was 18, 19, switched to poker. I said, look, I'll give you a different account and do this little thing and try it and tell me what you think and how much you bet. He registered, he gave me the email back, I posted it, so I added something, but he registered for a certain account that gave him a little bit of my money back. I must say I'm impressed. All I need now is free video and programs. I like smaller tracks like Monticello and Northville. I tried a place ticket on a 3-to-1 Greyhound. Betting frivolously and stupid, I blew it all. But the next day, I had $23 in my account. That was a rebate to a tiny player. And then last night, I got the $23 back up to $100. And then I blew it all again. But I managed to bet $700. They threw $35 back in his account the next day, and he kept on playing with it. That's the churn. That's what Betfair's grabbed. He ended up betting probably $1,300 or $1,400 with his original $100 bet. Small, tiny player. He's still playing today. he's become a fan because he can get a little bit of churn back and a little bit of money and he can win. So that's what I believe the future holds, is us making people have a chance and delivering our product in a good way.